Okay. All right, Victor, give me the names of the other people joining. Wait, what happened to Victor? What happened to your volume, Victor? Victor, can you hear me now? Can you girls hear me? Okay, well, Victor, let me know when you can hear me. Victor. Okay, I'm going to write all your girls' names down so you can get patterns while we're waiting for Victor. And L, Sue, Delaney, M. What happened to your volume, Victor? Barb, S. Welcome, everybody. Kathleen, R, Tina B. I feel like we're in elementary school with the initials for our last names. Okay, let's see how many more. Hey, Christy. I don't know what happened to Victor. We were just having a fun conversation. He's going to demo 2 Christmas ornaments today as soon as he can figure out his volume. So welcome to Fabric Chicks Live on Monday afternoons. We do this every Monday. Beverly Ann, I'm giving you one. I have a bunch of these. Oh, Sue, it's good to see you again. Okay, Sue, I'm going to start your basket with one of these free cozy cuddles. And then Rayanne, are you there, Victor? Wow, we're going to have so many freebies while Victor figures out.
I must have deleted the banner.
Oh, you did? Hang on. Okay, there, we got that. Victor. I can't hear you. Can you guys hear Victor? Is it just me that can't hear him? Oh, Mary Beatty, I guess it's the second. When you buy really expensive watches, they have a hard time keeping the dates. Okay, nobody can hear Victor. Okay. Oops. Oh, he's going to come back on, I think. Okay, while he's coming back on, I'm going to change this because Mary Beatty, who is clearly smarter than me, says that it's the second. So welcome to Fabric Chicks. As you can see, I am the supervisor of the entire shit show here at Fabric Chicks. Well, I won't say the entire because Roger likes to think he's partly supervisor too. So we have today a fun demo with Victor if he figures out what's going on. While he's doing that, I'm going to just go over some fun things. If you didn't join us for the live demo Friday, you might want to go back and watch it. It's posted on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. Christy came to the shop and we were supposed to get a lot of like behind the scenes stuff done. And instead, I impromptu said, why do that when we can do lives all day? So we did demos all day. It was so exhausting, but it was a lot of fun. So we did Carolina Moore's box bag template. Somebody said that Jeannie said she was having problems with the cell phone holder. We whipped one up. You can, Carolyn has a bigger cell phone, so she made it. Let me see if I let him in. So she said she made it with, instead of with 2 6-inch squares, she made it with an 8-inch square. Victor, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, I can hear you now too.
But I couldn't. I would speak, but nobody would hear nothing. I didn't know what happened, so I switched to my laptop. Okay. Oh, my cat wants up. Frankie, no.
Perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna finish going over this, and then we'll do some fun ornaments. So this here is the cell phone holder, and it's so easy. And I think you could give it to your kids, and they could throw it in their backpacks, make it for the grandkids. super easy, just 2 6-inch scraps of fabric in their favorite colors. They're going to really like it because it's really convenient to hold your cell phone, or even like you could put it here and then put your pattern on top of it, and it holds your pattern up while you're working on your pattern. So it's got a bunch of multiple uses. Carolyn did it. She made it with an 8-inch square, same process, just an 8-inch square, so that it will hold the bigger phone. Because as you know, if you bought a phone yesterday, you already need to buy a new phone. So, and I might stuff mine a little bit firmer. This is the one that I originally had that inspired it, that Fran made me. And this one is stuffed super tight. So I might stuff it a little bit firmer just because, but if they're going to be carrying it to school or wherever, this one is a great size for just throwing it in your purse or wherever you're going to be. Take it to work, make multiple ones so you have one everywhere. But I also want to show you, Roger just pulled this out of a box. There is a new Carolina Moore using the box bag template. So now you can make eyeglass case holders.
Yes, I need one of those.
Yes, everybody does. Maybe I might put my sunglasses in there instead of getting them all scratched up. So that's that. That was our fun Friday. Okay, so Victor,
yes.
Why don't you show us an ornament, and then we'll come back to me and I'll show him some applique, and then we'll go back to you and finish up with another ornament.
This
I don't want to overwhelm them too
much. This is a list of like 7 of them.
Okay.
But we're only going to do 2.
Yes, because otherwise you'll overwhelm them. Do you know these ladies? I've had to demo the 60-degree ruler about 17,000 times.
Aren't you not up to 18,000 times now?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. We'll do the Christmas tree is the first one. Okay. So I'm going to tilt my laptop. So what we're going to need to do the Christmas tree is you need 3 pieces of fabric, and you'll need a 4.5 by 4.5 inch square, a 5.5 inch square, and a 6.5 inch square. And on the 4.5 inch square, you're going to cut out a 4-inch circle. The 5.5 inch square, you're going to cut out a 6-inch circle. And on the 6.5 inch square, you're going to cut out a 6-inch square. And you're also going to need some heat and bond to put behind it. Once you've done that, you cut them out, cut all your pieces out, peel the back of this seam and bond of all your 3 square circles now, and you fold them in half. You simply fold them in half. And of course, yes, we will be pressing them, but I don't have much room on my table tonight, so I'm just going to press them hard with my hand for now. You do all 3 circles, fold them in half. And once that is done, we'll take the big circle and fold it in half again, just so you can get a little pleat here in the middle, just so you know where your center is. Then you fold, let's see if I can do it backwards. You fold it down halfway, and the other side, bring it in. And what I did to hold it there, I would use a little clip. Just hold it. Now take the next one, do the same thing. Fold it in half and just press in the middle, just so you can see where the center is. And then again, bring it, your half, fold it over and fold the other one over. Now this piece of the tree will slide right on top of the other one. And put your seams together. Just align your seams. And there it is. There's the second one. Turn it around. You can see it if it's centered. If so, then I put another clip on each side just so it holds there because you're going to need again to put the top piece. And then we'd take the third one, find the center, fold it in half, and you're making like a skirt. Once it's folded, bring it over to your tree again and slide it over. Don't worry if your clips are in the way, you can move them. Slide it down and put the clips back up. Just to hold it there. There. Now you got your tree. Bring it over to your sewing machine. But before that, you need a piece of lace for your hoop. And I'm sure we all have all kinds of lace or riffraff at home that we could use to make you loop. Have it ready for when you go to your sewing machine. Once you have your sewing machine, pick a fancy design, stitch design, and you're going to sew right in the center where you pleated all your half circles. Do a fancy stitch all the way in, all the way up. And once you get close to the top, what I did is I folded my ribbon in half. So I get end to end. And I slide it inside the top piece right there. So this way, when I'm finishing my fancy stitch right at the top, and you take your clip off, you get this nice little fancy Christmas tree.
So pretty. Now, could they, if they wanted it to be more realistic, could they kind of do free motion stitching instead of that decorative stitch?
Oh yes, they can. I use the fancy stitch in the middle just so you can hold all your pieces together. So it has to go side to side. It has to catch it. So you can use. So I just picked one. I haven't used that goes side to side. It's this fancy stitch looks like zigzags,
Right.
Really. But you can use any stitch you want as long as you catch side to side, or you could just sew twice. Maybe use brown thread, and that'll be the tree stump all the way down and catch the side of it on each side.
Oh, that would be cute too. Yes.
Yeah, I just thought of that. Tree stump.
Right.
And then there's your hoop. And this is so, I was amazed how simple this was. Yes, it might be tough when you're sewing through all these layers. Oh, a fly always lands on the camera on my laptop.
For sure.
Always.
It never fails. It never fails.
Always. So that's the treat.
Okay. So I think we're showing you guys lots of cute, fun, homemade, quick and easy projects, because anybody that you know that you give gifts to, they don't necessarily need more things, but everybody loves homemade things. Like, I have gifts from my girlfriends that they made 20 years ago. I still put them out every year and I still remember them. So definitely this is the year we're claiming. This is the year we're going to make it the National Year of Homemade Gifts. So Victor's going to join us every month or every week for a few, probably forever, because he's got 1,000,001 ideas. Victor, can you just say one more time what sizes those circles were?
Yes.
Mary Petey didn't have her pen ready.
Okay.
Mary, are you ready?
You need 3 squares. The first square, you need a size 4.5. Second square is 5.5. And the third square is 6.5. And then with those squares, you make circles in them. So a 4-inch circle in the 4.5 pieces, the 4.5 square, 5-inch with a 5.5 and a 6-inch circle in the 6.5. And you do that with the fabric and the heat and bond.
And if they wanted to make it bigger, they could just adjust accordingly.
Yes, exactly. If you could do, a 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, or you could make it a 4-layer, add another layer. Doesn't have to be just 3. You could add another one. So the other one would be 7.5 with a 7-inch circle. And you
Oh,
have a 4-layer tree.
Carolyn says circle templates would be really helpful. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
They definitely would. You could use the bottom of a mug. I mean, if
Yes.
you didn't have circle templates, you could get creative and use a lid. Yeah.
Or we could go online
And
if you are good with your computer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could order some circle ones out of paper. Okay. All right. Don't go very far, Victor.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a quick applique demo and talk about my jelly roll quilt because I finished it finally.
Oh yes, excellent.
Mary Beatty says she would be disappointed if Anne did not bling out her tree, which is true. We would all be disappointed about that. Okay, hang on a second, and we will.
We'll put Beth back.
Yes. Well, I'm doing it myself because Roger apparently decided to go get something to eat.
I'm right here.
Okay, let me see. Now I don't know which one he's filming and which one is.
Oh, the other one. I'm back. Now it's Beth's turn. Okay. There she is.
All right. So I want to just show you real quick. If you were one of the first people to sign on, and with that, I mean like there's a bunch of you, we've given you the Cozy Cuddle Robe pattern. So make sure that you check this out. This would be great gifts for Christmas. And I think it's a fun pattern, pretty easy pattern. I mean, of course, you want to make it out of minky so that it's luxurious and amazing. But I think it would also be fun to make one out of terry cloth for the swimming pool. So that's that. And then over here, so while everybody else during the jelly roll races, while everybody else was making their quilt top, I just was experimenting with 2.5-inch strips. So I created my own jelly roll, and then I used a Moda Grunge jelly roll. So the Moda Grunge jelly roll has like 20 strips of all the same fabric. So that's my alternating fabrics. And then I used the Marcia Dursey line of fabric. And I kind of challenged myself. I didn't want to just do a regular quilt. So I made myself offset everything. So kind of like with a modern take, because I hate modern quilts. I think there's too much empty space and they are too weird for me. I'm much more of a traditional person. So I forced myself to do this. And it definitely was way too much empty space for me. So, of course, I had to go up to Eleanor's collection and find trims and buttons and beads and embellishments. So last night while I was sitting in bed watching a movie, I just started adding stuff to it. So that's my version of trying to force myself outside of the box and force myself outside of doing stuff that's comfortable for me. Because at some point you don't just need another quilt, but you want to keep creating and you want to sometimes not necessarily use a pattern from somebody else. So this was no pattern. I just started sewing and that's what turned out. So that's that. And one of these days, I think we need to do a Zoom where we all just start with a pile of stuff and just start putting it together and see what turns up. You might be surprised at what you can do. Okay, the other thing is, thank you, Jane. I know, traditional. Well, I do love traditional. Okay, so if you do not have these two supplies in your sewing, like you probably have these in your kitchen cabinets, but if you don't have these in your sewing supplies, you still trying to eat that piece of cheese?
You just talk to them. Leave me alone.
Did you use scrap tape with that quilt? Mary Beatty, I did not use scrap tape. They're all, it was just a jelly roll. And I pieced the jelly roll together. For the center squares, I just took a strip of a light and a strip of a dark. And I sewed it the width of the fabric. And then I just cut it up into triangles and sewed them together. And then this was like a leftover piece, and this was a leftover piece. So I just threw them on there randomly, kind of like wherever it landed is where it landed. So this is Reynolds Kitchen Freezer Wrap, and this is Press and Seal. And I used both of these yesterday. I use them a lot here at the shop. I don't necessarily ever use them at home. I don't even know what freezer paper is used for in a home situation. But Press and Seal, so I had somebody who wanted a quilt custom quilted with this intense vintage wolf head, like 80 times on her quilt. So in my olden days, I would have just copied it off on paper and then quilted over the paper and then had to rip all that paper out, kind of like paper piecing, which would have taken me forever. So I traced it onto the Press and Seal, quilted over it, and then ripped it out. The Press and Seal just came off way, way easier than paper. So if you don't have Press and Seal, make sure you get some. The other thing I use a lot is freezer paper. So today I decided, because I had this random piece of snowflake fabric left over from a backing, so I decided that I was going to hand applique, because I have nothing more important in my life to do than hand applique. So I got some snowflakes. I went to freecoloringpages.com and I searched for snowflakes. So I just downloaded a few so you can get everybody, each one of us can have different snowflakes. Just go to Coloring Pages, Free Coloring Pages snowflakes, and it'll bring up a billion of them. I traced with my freezer paper on top of here. So this is my freezer paper. I traced the freezer paper on top of here and then just cut it out. So this is my freezer paper. You can iron your freezer paper onto your applique fabric. There's different ways you can do it. So I prefer to trace it onto the top of my fabric. So here it is on the top of my fabric. I've traced it. You can see. I did use a friction pin in case I don't turn it all the way under. I used a friction pin, and I traced around each of my freezer paper templates. And then I basted them super quick. And before you baste them to your background fabric, you're going to want to make sure you have a slit anywhere you're going to cut out inside of your design. So make sure you cut a little slit here. Like here, I had to do a little slit. Here, I know you guys like to learn from my mistakes. Don't cut your thread with your teeth when you have lipstick on, because I've got a little pink mark there from my lipstick. So don't cut your thread with your teeth ever, but especially when you have lipstick on. And then I'm just going to, for thread choice, I was going to use this gray glamour because it's a silver glamour with metallic. So it'd have a little bit of a glimmer. I decided not to use that because I started it right here. And I used to always do the invisible stitch so that you couldn't even see my applique stitches. I used to do them really, really small. Eleanor, though, convinced me that why would you want an invisible stitch? Because you're putting all that work into it. So you might as well make your applique stitch a part of your design. So that's what I've done. I've turned it under with the needle, and you can see it's kind of like a quilting stitch, a running basting stitch. So here is where I had the gray glamour, and you can see it makes it look dirty. So that one's not a good one. I did find a white one, but it has rainbow thread in it. So that one, I don't think I want rainbow around my snowflake. But Christy said there is one similar to this. This is the gold one, but she says there is a white and silver one. So I'll have to see. I didn't have any in the shop, but I did have. So this is why you need a collection of threads. So you have choices, kind of like your painter's palette when you get ready to do something, at 10 o'clock at night. So I found some Wonderfeel hologram thread. So if you look, I don't know if you can see it very well there, but it really catches the light and is glimmering. So I'm going to use that for my applique running stitch. So all you have to do is super easy. And this is a project you can like literally throw in your purse and take anywhere. I think you always need some kind of a hand project in case you're at the doctor's office or somewhere crazy. So all you have to do is take your needle, and hopefully I was doing it while Victor was talking, so I might run out of thread. But all you do is use your needle and your nail to turn that under. So see how that goes right under? And I prefer this kind of applique as opposed to, you could leave your freezer paper on top and go around your freezer paper. That will give you really, really great lines, like straight lines, because you have the freezer paper as a guide. But the freezer paper gets in my way. When you get to a little corner like this, and snowflakes are great if you're learning, because you're going to have inside angles, outside angles, all kinds of angles. So I just clipped it right there, and I clipped it right to the line. So if you ever think, oh, I don't know if that's under enough, you can just tuck it like this, and see how you're going to have that one little thread that pops out right there in that corner. I'm going to, instead of doing the running basting stitch, I'm going to go over the edge and secure it. So the running basting stitch is basically just like a quilting stitch. Anybody can do it. The finer your needle, the easier it is. So right here, I'm going to go on the outside just to catch that stitch. And then that's how easy it is. So people always say they're afraid of applique. It's super easy. And you're not going to know if you love it or not unless you give it a try. So that's my little thing on applique.
You make that look so easy.
It is so easy. I can't wait to see what you do with it tonight, Victor. You'll have snowflakes done like crazy.
Oh no!
But then while I was doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be the perfect snowflake banner. So I think because you're going to have all these intricate little things to do, I would not put it on the heavyweight interfacing, but I would put it probably on Decor Bond so that you can really get in there and get the intricate little circles cut out. So that's it. That's all I have for today. Are you using a straw needle? No, Ann Linnemeyer. I know you're not so familiar with fabric chicks, but finding a needle is like finding a needle in a haystack here. So I have the worst needle on the planet. Like, I think I could go through jeans with this needle. But it was the only needle I could find. So it's a super big fat needle. I do love Peacemakers has great hand applique needles. They're like butter. They just go right through. Also, you could use a number 7 darner if you've got problems with arthritis. A lot of people use the John James number 7 darners because they're thin and sharp, but they're a little bit longer, so they're easier for you to grasp onto. Okay. So let me turn it back over to Victor so we can see the next ornament demo.
Well, the next ornament demo we're going to do this big ornament ball.
Okay.
And it's simple. We all have these items at home. And I'm sure if we don't, we can order it. So we need a 3-inch styrofoam, piece of ribbon so you can hang it up, and about 75 2.5-inch squares. And you need a skewer stick or anything that has a pointy end. And I know I have skewer sticks somewhere in the drawer in the kitchen. Do you think I can find them? No. So I had my meat thermometer that I used that, and this is since I went to college in 1986, and it still works. It works great for with sewing. So that's where I'm going to use it now. So,
Perfect.
so you take your ribbon, and what I did with the ribbon, it's to use to hold your ball up. So I just put it overlap each other and put it on top of your ball, whatever you decide where's the top, and then take your screw stick right in the middle of all the two layers and poke it in the styrofoam. There you go. It's holding up. So now take a piece of fabric, your 2.5 inch square, poke it in the middle of your fabric, and then you take it and you simply poke it in your styrofoam. And you keep doing that till you cover your whole styrofoam ball. And your fabric just stays in. You can use a 3-inch ball. You can use 2-inch if you want smaller, or even 1-inch. See, there goes the fly again, right on my camera.
Oh, yeah.
See, it just knows to land there. So you just keep going around and around and put your 2.5-inch squares. You could make it all scrappy if you want, or one color. The one here that I made, I actually did it too tight at the top, so I was didn't have enough squares, so I had to get other squares. But you should.
About how far are the fabric squares?
How big?
How far apart?
How far apart? Use your judgment. Leave space. Right now, I'm leaving maybe 1/4 inch. You'll know as you go around if you feel that it's too tight. Go a bit more.
Well, this is a stash buster for sure.
Oh, this is simple. You know, it's like when I learned this one, it's like, okay, no glue, no sewing.
Did you pink the edges with pinking shears, or just cut them with rotary cutter?
I just cut them with a rotary cutter.
Okay.
But you can use the pinking shear. Have a fancy ends on your fabrics. Just keep going around and around. Takes about 75 squares. And that's it. And then you keep going, and what you're gonna know, you got a nice Christmas ball. So the 3-inch ball at 2.5 inch, so gonna look pretty big.
So
So
I wonder if you could like spray it. I mean, for Ann Lindenmeyer, afterwards you could spray it with glitter.
I don't see why not. It's yours. There's no rules that you cannot do that.
Yeah. Dip the ends with glue or something, and then roll it in glitter or something.
Yeah, it's all it's all up to you. But that's all you need is 2-inch squares. And just
Kathleen
poke it in.
says, would dipping the end of the fabric in glue help to adhere the squares?
Repeat that, please.
Would dipping the end of the fabric in glue help to adhere the squares to the styrofoam?
If you want to, but you don't have to, because once you poke it in, it's in there.
Okay.
It's like I'm pulling a little bit on it, and it's not coming out.
Yeah.
You poke about maybe 1/2 inch.
Ann Lindenmeyer says, holy mackerel, she spends hours decorating those styrofoam balls.
Well, this one will probably take you 15 minutes.
There you go, Ann.
Yeah,
well, we know what everybody in Ann's family is getting for Christmas. Jody says you could use spray glue and glitter.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go. That's a good
literally.
idea.
Yes.
Yep, just keep on going.
Mary Beatty says, Victor rules, not us.
You know something, while we're at it, I'm going to mention, you know, when we trim squares, all your little threads, or you trim squares, you got all these little pieces of fabric.
Yeah.
Save those. Real quick, I purchased Christmas light bulb ornament. And you
Oh,
just stuff them with all the little trims of your
oh
fabric.
gosh. You are
And you
being
got a
ordered
Christmas
at
ornament.
all, Victor.
I have a friend, a quilter friend. She gave me this idea a couple years ago. You can buy the little round ones. And when you do quilts, when you're making a quilt for a friend, keep out those little trims and put them in the little ball, and you give them an ornament with their quilt.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
We all have little slivers when we do
Yes.
quilts. We all have these little, when we just hate throwing fabric out, don't we?
Right, right.
So why not do an ornament?
Perfect.
And you can make them, and if, yeah, you just sliver them more, smaller if you want, put them in, put it in. Easy, quick ornament.
Oh, Ann Lindemeyer says she's already started the women in gold material to make Christmas ornaments. They'll be fabulous. Well, Ann, take a photo and put it on the stitch along so we can see. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Lynn Jenkins joined late and Sandy joined late. They're going to have to go back and watch it again.
Oh, yeah, we're not starting over.
No, Carolyn says, great idea for the scraps in the glass ornaments. I think that's fabulous. All right, so do you have a sample of what you're going to be showing them next Monday?
Well, so how about next Monday we'll do the ribbon ornament.
Oh, candy ribbon.
Candy ribbon. And you'll need thread or even applique thread to pull through. Little beads. If you got round beads, square beads. I put a button at the bottom and a button at the top.
Perfect.
And use beads. And how about the pinwheel?
Okay, so those are the projects he's going to demo next Monday. So make sure you tune back in. We will have a sale on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Beverly Ann says she's been wanting to do the candy ribbon. And I think it would be fun to do it like out of Halloween fabrics too.
Yeah, you can make them Halloween fabric. You just need 2 colors. I figure I'll do it red and white because I love red and white, and it's Christmas. Red and white usually, a lot of it. But you can do Halloween. You can do whatever colors of fabric you have.
Perfect. Okay. All right. I have. What do we need for the pinwheel? Oh, that's a good idea. Tell them what they need for the pinwheel, and then they can work on it as you're demoing it, so they might actually get something done.
Well, the pinwheel, you need, for the pinwheel, you need 2 charm, so 5-inch pieces, 2 squares, 5-inch.
Perfect.
Inside, it suggests that you use some kind of interfacing, but I just use a layer of batting. So the 2 squares at 5-inch, and the piece of batting that goes inside is 4.5, just a little smaller. For the ribbon, it's 2 strips of 2.5, 18-inch long. Here it asks for an interfacing on each, but I just put interfacing on one, sewed it. But I'll explain that more. some buttons, ribbon, thread, scissors. That's all. Be easy. And I'm sure if anyone needs help, you all know where to reach me. I'm in the Sew Alongs group or message me.
Pot holders.
I missed that question.
Did anybody watching go home and make a hexagon pot holder? Inquiring minds want to know. Jane says she's looking forward to doing this. Christy says that we need to make a time to do an ornament Zoom. That would be perfect.
Yep.
Yep, Victor's up for it.
I'm for it.
Okay. Did anybody go home and make the look, I've got a little charm pack for nobody went and made the pot holder. Oh my gosh. You guys
I had a friend that watched the replay. He messaged me. He actually called me to tell me that he watched the replay and made one, and his wife was all surprised that he did it.
Oh, good for him. Oh, Phyllis says not yet. She needs to pick up her hexagon ruler on Wednesday. All right. Well, I'm gonna hold this then for like some other time right here. I'm gonna hold that. This is gonna be for like when people actually make the hexagon pot holder or coasters. I can keep it forever because I don't like to be like cluttered.
So you got to earn the winnings now.
Yeah. Okay, Victor, find me some winners. I've got some crazy gold tape. Look at some gold tape, but this would be perfect for your gift bags. This is what Christy and I whipped up these gift bags. I used the fabric that was the wide bag that we had $15 a yard last time. So with a half a yard, you can get 3 fun gift bags. They were so easy. We used the box bag template, and then you just need a fun ribbon to tie it up. You can use those over and over and over again. And if you use red, it could be a patriotic hostess gift bag, or it could be Christmas, or it could be pretty much red, can be anything. Okay, I got gold ribbon, Victor. Who's the winner?
Beverly Ann.
Beverly Ann. And then I have a fun pin cushion. We've sold out of all the patterns, so a cute little pin cushion.
Laura Alberto.
Velardo? Wait, how do you spell the last name?
Laura Alberto Velardo.
Okay.
VELAR.
Okay, just making sure it's not somebody new to watching. Okay, and then I have a gnome panel for gnome stuffed cupcakes and the backing fabric so you can make the cute little, this is great, especially if you have grandkids. It has 4 little gnomes on it.
Carolyn
Gabernish. Oh, we're gonna drive you crazy with all these English names, huh?
Well, it's a good practice for me. I know if I look at it and try to pronounce it myself, I can do it.
Perfect. Carolyn, Carolyn was on with me this morning with her flip and stitch, and she was doing a table runner. Did you get it finished, Carolyn? And I'm sure that
Beverly Ann said re-gift the ribbon.
Okay, re-gift it. Find a new winner.
Scroll.
Scroll.
How about Sandy Cohen?
Oh, she was on with me this morning too. This is like a Fabric Chicks marathon. Sandy K. Okay, And then I have a little piece of rickrack left over from some projects I was doing.
Connie Kaufman.
Oh, Connie will like it. Connie, where were you today? I had Katie was on, but she couldn't find her flip and stitch, so she just watched. I took the pins in the other room. I know 5 o'clock we're doing the pumpkin girls, so if you're signed up for that class, oh Roger, you don't have to stay. You can go home and watch football. Okay, I have 2 fun little. These were like from Gracie's collection, but she's obviously outgrown it. But luckily these are not the 2 that had little fingers that Gracie cut off. So these are all intact. So if you've got somebody little that you want paper dolls for, just type that in. They're already made. And then, oh, Connie forgot. Oh, Mary Vitti, don't worry. You weren't even awake at 9 a.m. But at 9 a.m. we had a flip and stitch Zoom for 2 hours. So pretty much they got pretty far. Caroline did the whole center of her table runner because flip and stitch is so quick and easy.
Jane Massingill for the dolls.
Okay, Jane. And Jane, your box is the next one for me to send out. You are going to love the advent calendar. I've been playing with it. It's super fun. Okay, and that's how do we sew wide rickrack on? Oh, that's a good question, Sandy. I just sew right down the middle of it if it's not going to be washed. If it was going to be washed, I might tack down these edges because otherwise, if you sew down the middle, it's going to curl up. But when I sew rickrack on, I literally just sew right down the center in a thread that matches the color of the rickrack. Hey, Kathy Holden, how are you? It's good to see you. What about 5 o'clock class? Connie Kaufman, did you get the link for the 5 o'clock class? It's still happening in 10 minutes. Okay, so that's all we have for today, unless you guys can think of anything else. Yes, Tina, the flip and stitch is the exact as the Quilts As You Go table runner. That took me a minute to figure out what QAYG was. I thought it was like some new kid slang for texting. But no, Quilts As You Go, it's the same thing. Okay. Connie, I'll send you the link right now. All right, so if you are new to watching, join us on Wednesday. We do this every Monday and Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Mondays typically go an hour, Wednesdays go 2 hours, and then you never know when we're going to pop up and do something extra because we love to work a billion hours a week. Kathy Holden, I was going to go to Houston, but we canceled it. So no, I'm not going to Houston. But we would love when you get home and you're ready to do something fun with us crazy chicks. We would love to get together and do something. Okay, so we will see you guys. If you were late, you can go back. Oh, poor Brenda. She was in the ER all afternoon. Well, we hope your dad's doing better, Brenda. All right, we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great evening. Go get some sewing done. Post the sewing on Fabric Chick Stitch Along so that we can see what you've done. And there is a little bit of incentive to get one of those hexagons done. All right, I want to thank Victor for doing his demos. We love the demo. And Roger for filming, of course. And for you guys for tuning in. See you guys on Wednesday. Have a great couple days. Get some sewing done.
Later, all.